What's up, people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm David Hammond, Men's Physique IFBB Pro, and we're back again with another voiceover. So let's get to it. So we have our first movement. Today is back day, first of all. First movement is going to be our straight arm lat pull downs. Now, you'll see whenever I hit back, I have to pre-exhaust. A lot of people struggle with pre-exhausting with activation of the lats. And this is one of those movements where it's hard not to feel it when you actually get on top of the movement. All right, arms nice and straight. Drop the shoulders as we come into the movement, making sure we have a scooped motion, elbows slightly bent, and really feel that squeeze on the lats. Very, very hard not to feel it. Now, pre-exhaustion's done. Movement number 2, we're moving on to a seated lat pull down. Now, if you can see, I'm using the mag grips. Perfect handle because of the position that your hands are in. You hardly feel your forearm in this, in opposed to using the conventional pronated grip, where the forearm flexors can become a little bit pre-exhausted and a little bit exhausted before you can feel anything in your back. So I find that the neutral grip mag grips are like the best thing when it comes to feeling that awesomeness. I don't know if that's a word, awesomeness on the lats. You'll find whenever I do these, I depress my shoulder blades, making sure the lats are engaged before I actually move the weight. Keep the movement controlled. I know it's very, very tempting to get too heavy on this movement and swing the weight around. In some instances, when you do get heavy and you can actually control that load, just make sure the negative is there, okay? Don't just drop the weight up on the way up. Make sure you keep that focus on the muscle. Leave your ego at the dell. All right, so moving on to movement number 3. This is one of my new favorite movements for back. This is one I picked up from Coach Kasim. It's hitting the lats from a completely different angle and prioritizing more of the stretch position. We have a horizontal chest supported high row. I know that's a mouthful to say, but the idea behind this is to bring the lats through its full entire range of motion. Some of this movement does hit your rear delts, but I'll promise you, your lats will be inflamed for days to come. Okay, it just shows how much activation and how much bias it has on the lats when you turn a little bit more horizontally to the side. All right, so the next movement up is our chest supported prone rows. This is one of those movements when you can afford to go a little bit on the heavier side because you have that fixed position and the range of motion is so short. Essentially what I'm thinking about as I'm doing this is driving my elbows out to the sides, each side of the room, while I'm bringing my chest through that pad. So I really want to think about controlling the movement on the way down, just because it's such a small, tiny movement. Remember to squeeze the hell out of your mid-back and really focus on that negative on the way down. Now we're in the latter half of the session, and this is when I start to utilize supersets. Energy's running low, movements are a little bit on the lighter side, so pairing them up would be beneficial to you. So we're hitting our chest supported rows, making sure we go for a wider grip just to target more of the upper traps and the rear delts. And we're actually supersetting this with a prone dumbbell reverse fly. Both these movements target similar areas, and you'll find that the reverse fly is a way of getting the upper back closer to failure without the biceps and stuff like the forearm flexors being the limiting factor that brings you closer to accomplishing the maximum stimulation you can achieve in that upper back. Now, what kind of pull day would it be if you didn't have to hit some arms at the end? So we're chopping it up with some standing easy bar curls. I'm not gonna lie to you, biceps is not my favorite, and you could probably tell from my physique. My arms are not overpowering at the slightest. So we've done some standing bicep easy bar curls, followed up with some standing bicep hammer curls. The best advice I can give when it comes to biceps is to squeeze the hell out of it. Big up my mentor, Dan Smith, once told me, it's not about how heavy you can lift, it's about how hard you can squeeze. That saying stuck with me for years. If you're watching this, bro, big up yourself. So we're 6 weeks into prep, body fat's coming down, starting to see a little bit of definition, shape starting to come about. I find this the worst part of prep because it seems like things are going so slow, but this is the part when you need to stay consistent, believe in your coach, believe in your vision, and just stay consistent, because as much as you think things aren't happening, you're preparing your body for a massive change. And this is why it's so important to make sure you span your prep over a longer period of time, just so you don't have to rush things and you prioritize and keep that muscle mass that you've gained on the bulk. Very, very important. The last thing you want is to set your fat loss phase too short and then you end up running out of time or having to compensate and increase intensity more than you need to. A good prep's always a prep that you can ease your way into and be ready at least 3 weeks out before the competition. Especially for us natural guys, we have to make sure, as we don't have the same muscle sparing hormones you would if you were assisted. So cut down over a longer period of time, and I promise you, you will get shredded. Guys, thank you. Follow me on this journey. I know we just started, kind of just started the journey. We're into week 6 now. Been slacking a little bit on the filming aspect. We've got one video coming out next. We should have one video out already. This is the second video in the series. I know it's been 6 weeks. Been very, very busy, but I promise, me and the camera girl, we're gonna keep it more consistent. So, compared to last time, fingers crossed, we've lost a little bit more weight. We've visually seen a lot more differences. I'm 5 kilos down. So, I'm gonna show you some flabs, do a comparison. So, we're slowly starting to see the abs come in, a little bit of obliques coming in as well. Definition on the chest, on the shoulders. But yeah, give me 3 more weeks. 3 more weeks. Let's see, mad thing. Stay tuned for the next series episode coming out soon, guys. Thanks for being on this journey with me, and I'll see you soon.